Hello, this is Mick Foley, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Rob Van Dam. You're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. Johnny North is right here with me. Here with you every Saturday night on TSN 690 talking professional wrestling. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. WWE Hell in a Cell going down tomorrow night live in San Antonio, Texas. It will be the WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns defending that title against the Monster Among Men, cashing in his Money in the Bank. It will be Braun Strowman challenging inside that Hell in a Cell. And we learned this week that the special guest referee will be Hell in a Cell legend Mick Foley. So Foley in between Roman and Braun. We'll get to that in a little bit. Also on the Hell in a Cell card, the other cell match will be Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Randy has appeared in several cell matches. This will be Jeff Hardy's first, and we all know Jeff Hardy, the Daredevil, could do some crazy stuff in this match. Charlotte Flair will defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch. The Raw Women's Championship will be defended. Ronda Rousey defending her title for the first time against the former champion Alexa Bliss. AJ Styles defending the WWE title against Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella teaming up to take on the Miz and Maryse. It'll be husband and wife versus husband and wife in this mixed tag match. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending the Raw tag team titles against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And the New Day defending the SmackDown tag titles against Rusev Day.
Surprising.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. And let's start with SmackDown and what happened on SmackDown this week, Johnny North. I think Rusev Day was the biggest surprise, at least, the fact that they won against The Bar. I thought The Bar would come in to SmackDown after being away for a while, very strong, and be the first ones to challenge New Day, but no. Rusev Day getting the shot as well, and I don't think they have any chance at winning the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day, especially considering this is the New Day's first defense on pay-per-view, well, pay-per-view, whatever this is still called, defending these titles since they won them, right? Like, have they defended on a big show yet? When did they win the titles?
The night after, or the SmackDown after
exactly.
SummerSlam.
And this is the first pay-per-view since SummerSlam. So they're not losing the titles on their first defense, especially not against Rusev Day.
Well, Rusev Day had broken up, right? And that was kind of like their second match back, first ever like tag team match really back. And, okay, they won, surprisingly. But, yeah, now they're going to be tag team champions. I'd be surprised. However, Rusev is super over. Why not give him a championship? I mean, you haven't done it since this Rusev Day thing kicked off. Why don't you finally put him over?
Well, you're going to do that by sacrificing the New Day? You want to talk about over. Is anybody more over than the New Day?
It's not sacrificing. They're 5-time tag team champions. They're still over.
But they're going to lose in their first defense to Rusev and Aiden English?
It doesn't hurt the New Day. They're still over. They're still a great act. They still have their announcing table. They still do their thing.
Which is weird, again, the way they did that, right? The Bar and Rusev Day are wrestling, and they have the normal announced team, and then they have the New Day with their own desk, and once in a while, during the match, they would cut to the New Day so you could hear what they were saying. Why not just let us listen to the New Day's commentary the whole time? The New Day is way better than Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. I mean, just let the New Day do commentary for the whole show. I don't want to hear Byron Saxton, Corey Graves, or Tom Phillips. Ever.
Well, the thing is, they're getting the other talent over, where New Day, they're just kind of just like joking around a bit. So they're not really helping in terms of the story. So that's why you only hear snippets of the New Day, because a lot of it's just nonsensical, what they say.
Yeah, well, it's more fun than the commentary team.
Well, this is also giving New Day a gimmick, right? Because they have Kofi backstage as the backstage announcer as well.
Yeah. It's just another part of their characters, another part of their ever-evolving story. They're always adding new elements, dropping certain old elements. They got the pancakes going. That's been going for a while. That's a great gimmick that they're doing. New Day is fantastic. They're the best thing going. You know, they're the most consistent, entertaining act that the WWE has had in the past 5 years. Consistently over. The crowd always loved them. No matter where they go, everybody loves the New Day. Everybody. Men, women, children, everybody. Young, old, everybody loves New Day. Everybody gets into it because they're undeniable. They're good at everything. They're funny. They can be serious. They're all entertaining. They play very well off each other. They're all great wrestlers. They're perfect. They may be the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah, arguably. Without question, right now, I think they're the best tag team going. It's just, you want to push some new teams as well. And to me, it feels like Rusev Day, them breaking up, now they're back together. They take another loss. I don't see the future of that team going strong afterwards.
Yeah, but there are a lot of tag teams on SmackDown that are more important than Rusev Day. The Usos, The Bar. Those are tag teams higher on the pecking order, I would imagine, than Rusev Day. As over as Rusev is, that tag team is just not that believable because of Aiden English. Like, I think Aiden English is all right. I have no problem with Aiden English, but he hasn't been built as a believable threat. He's not credible right now. So it's hard to believe in that tag team long term. It's kind of like Heath Slater and Rhino. You know? Mm-hmm. They were tag team champions on SmackDown for a little while. Rhino was believable, but Slater was not. So, yeah, they were the tag team champions, but you knew that they weren't this unstoppable force and they were there for the long haul. Kind of like the B team. You know, you have these teams that you don't really believe in. They're kind of a joke, and eventually they get beat by the more credible, legit teams. And that's how I see Rusev Day, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate that you're right, but yeah, that is the case, it seems like. It's just, how many times can you not give it to Rusev? I feel he's always in these situations, and they never give it to him. Yeah, okay, he had a WWE Championship match, but when's the last time did he win a pay-per-view match?
He's just another body on the roster. He's just there to fill a spot.
He shouldn't be, because he's one of the most over characters in all of WWE. He's more than just another body, but he's not treated like that.
Yeah, the audience responds to Rusev. But you see the way the WWE is booked, it's not really booked at the whim of the audience, you know? The audience doesn't determine what the WWE does or does not do. It's sad, but, you know, it's the way it is. The WWE is still trying to push Roman Reigns as their top babyface. It's outrageous. Anybody that watches wrestling, anybody that pays attention can see Roman Reigns is not the guy that everybody is universally embracing as the top good guy in the company. Yet the WWE, for years now, has been saying, screw you, pal, we're going to shove it down your throat. And that's how the WWE is. They don't make logical decisions. They don't do it properly. They're, you know, As much as Rusev would make sense to push, it made sense to push Rusev like a year ago at the height of the Rusev Day thing. When Rusev Day first became a thing and fans everywhere were chanting Rusev Day, even when Rusev wasn't in the building, that was the time to push him. But now, like, who cares? Rusev Day is faded. It's not that important anymore.
Let's just remember, this started with the New Day, right? The whole Rusev Day. It started with a promo backstage against the New Day, so it would kind of make a lot of sense for him to finally capture a win off the New Day.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
But I've lost faith in Rusev a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because WWE never gave him the opportunity. Well, I mean, they gave him the opportunity, but they never gave him the ball.
That's what happens in WWE. When you get over, when you're not supposed to get over, they will squash that. When the fans support you, but they're not supposed to be supporting you, the WWE will destroy you to show the fans, look, you thought this was the guy. Look how terrible he is. He's not the guy. Roman Reigns is the guy. No one better than Roman, right? Roman will be inside that Hell in a Cell tomorrow night in San Antonio, Texas. I thought it would make sense for San Antonio's own Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels to be the special referee because, you know, it's his hometown. It's a big match. Johnny North said it didn't make any sense, but now Mick Foley is a special guest referee for Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, and he announced that, not in a promo with Braun Strowman or Roman Reigns, he announces that on Raw in a promo with Elias for some strange reason. Very bizarre tie-in with Elias. It didn't make any sense. It made no sense. Why were you there talking to Elias to talk about the Hell in a Cell match? It was bizarre. I thought Foley cut a really good promo about Hell in a Cell and what it's done to him and all of that. Foley is great when he really gets into it. Finished off with a bang bang, you know, that was fantastic. I love Mick Foley. Who doesn't, right? But it's kind of weird the way they introduced him as the ref. I don't have a problem with it. I think it makes sense. I think you need something in this match to heighten it. I think Braun versus Roman in a Hell in a Cell for the title was all right, but we've seen Braun and Roman wrestle so many times in so many different gimmick matches with always something on the line that it needed a little extra, and Mick Foley was that little extra. The salad dressing, as you would say, Johnny North, right? Making it a little bit tastier, easy to swallow when it's being shoved down our throats, as the WWE likes to do, right? At least it's easier to handle. You know, we have to watch Roman and Braun Strowman, but at least there's a guy in there, Mick Foley, that we can look at and kind of enjoy and remember the good old days.
Well, I like and respect Mick Foley a lot. I think it's awesome he came to Montreal and had a sold-out show at the Comedy Nest this past week. That's tremendous. However, this story makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Why they threw Mick Foley in this, his reasoning behind why Stephanie gave him the match. When Stephanie told Baron Corbin that she wants Braun Strowman to win, why would you book the guy that you fired as the incompetent GM to be the guest referee for the match you want Braun Strowman to win? Makes absolutely no sense. They don't know what they're doing, I think, when it comes to writing storylines.
It was weird. Why with Elias?
Because Elias is that guy that just interacts with people now. People will just show up and, they're going to have a thing with Elias. John Cena did it. Trish Stratus does it. All the guests, whatever, they interact with Elias. Because he doesn't have to wrestle. It's just a talking thing. It's a little segment. That's it.
I'm really tired of it. Every time he comes on the screen in the ring and does a little guitar thing, I just want to stop watching. I can't do it anymore. It's not good. It is not good.
Well, it gives him a role. It makes him seem somewhat important because he gets to interact with people like that, so it gives him a moment, right?
But he's not important. He's just the guy that interacts with people and gets embarrassed and says dumb stuff and plays guitar poorly. Like, there's nothing interesting about him. He's very boring.
He's the new, like, Carlito's Cabana. He's the new, like, Miz is on SmackDown, so he's the new Miz for Raw, We need that kind of... It's pretty much a talk show with Elias.
Yeah, a talk show with a guy who could barely talk. Compare that to the great WWE talk shows. The Talk is Jericho. What did Jericho call his thing?
Oh, the highlight reel.
The highlight reel with Chris Jericho. The Rated R thing with Edge. What was that?
I can't remember what Edge's thing was.
The Kevin Owens show. The Piper's Pit. Freaking the funeral parlor with Paul Bearer.
The Peep Show.
The Peep Show with Christian. There have been some good ones. This is not good. The Elias show with Elias. Not so good.
To be honest, though, like, he gets over with the crowd, though. He gets a good reaction. Thing is, he's supposed to be the heel, and I find he's more of the face with the crowd anyways. I mean, he tries to get them to boo, but it's very middle of the road, I find, with that.
Does he try to get them to boo? That's the thing that's really inconsistent about the Elias character. He comes in, he'll say, hey, hello, I am Elias. Okay? Right. This is an Elias promo. Hello, I am Elias. And you all know that WWE stands for, and then they all say, walk with Elias for some reason. They're with him at this point.
They're sheep, yeah.
Right? They're with him. They're sheep. They just want to chant something. And he said, I said WWE stands for walk with Elias. All right, then. Now, your sports team is terrible. Whatever this city that I'm in, your local team is very bad. Cue whoever to come out and say, no, Elias, you're bad. You're a jerk. Here's Mick Foley. Here's Trish Stratus. Here's John Cena. Here's Triple H. Here's The Undertaker. Here's whoever to come out and say, Elias, shut up. This team that they have here is great. This city is awesome. Stop saying this city sucks. You suck, Elias. And then Elias just stands there, and then the segment ends. That's Elias every single week. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, he does wrestle, though. He wrestled Finn Balor, right?
And he lost because he's a jabroni.
It sucks for Finn, though, because he's not really doing anything. I mean, yeah, he beat Elias, okay, but not wrestling the pay-per-view.
He's got nothing going on.
It's a shame.
Yeah, Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. Two of the best talents in all of the WWE. Two guys that the WWE stole away from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not booked at Hell in a Cell. And Nakamura was also not booked at SummerSlam. It's 2 straight pay-per-views where the United States champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, is not booked.
No, he wrestled Jeff Hardy.
Oh, you're right.
That was a great match, actually.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Finn was the demon, and that was a joke of a match, but...
Yeah, no, Finn was booked at SummerSlam. Yeah, Nakamura was too. But he's been like on and off SmackDown a lot lately.
He was on SmackDown this week.
He was this week. He wrestled Jeff Hardy.
That was good.
But he's not booked at Hell in a Cell. What's that about?
Because it doesn't make sense, because it's really Randy versus Jeff, right?
Does Nakamura interfere in that match?
Doesn't really need to happen. It's not
so
necessary.
What does he do post Hell in a Cell?
That's a great question. There isn't anything for him right now.
Let's get back to that. We'll circle back here to Roman and Braun because I want to know how you think this match is going to finish. Like, Mick Foley is a special guest referee. Roman Reigns is a Universal Champion. Roman has the Shield backing him up. Braun Strowman seems to have half the Raw roster backing him up. I don't know what they're going to do here. I'm guessing that Roman is going to win 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. Like, I think it's just going to be a straight-up match. They're not going to do anything that crazy. It's going to be pretty simple. Roman will hit a Superman punch a couple times. Maybe he'll hit 2 or 3 spears to put Braun down, and then he will, and then he'll pin him 1, 2, 3, and that'll be that.
Well, the Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, that's going to be the stunts, right?
Yeah.
This match is going to be more like the hardcore brawling. They'll pull weapons from underneath the ring. It's going to be that kind of match.
Slow-paced,
but there'll be tables, there'll be kendo sticks, more than likely, stuff like that inside the cell. And more than likely, I expect McIntyre and Ziggler to break into the cell. the Shield to break into the cell.
But they already have a match with each other earlier in the night. They're going to be used again in the Hell in a Cell match?
Yeah, I think so. It's a Universal Championship.
It's a lot.
And I expect Mick Foley obviously will get involved. That's why he's being used. It always happens every time he's the guest referee inside Hell in a Cell. So he's going to play an important factor. And it just goes to show that Braun Strowman, unfortunately, is not going to win. He should become Universal Champion here. It's his time. But they've ruined Braun Strowman. So they're going with Roman Reigns, and he's going to be Universal Champion probably all the way to WrestleMania, as bleak as that sounds.
Yeah, I think Roman is going to hold on to this title for a long time. And I feel like they're already gearing up Kevin Owens to be his next challenger.
The Kevin Owens thing really doesn't make a lot of sense. I know he kind of explained it a bit, saying he's going after Bobby Lashley because Bobby ruined everything with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and he also said why he quit. He said he quit because he didn't want to deal with it anymore. But then Baron Corbin convinced him to come back and said that now you're allowed to do whatever you want. You won't be held accountable for any of your actions. So when you attack people randomly, when you do whatever you want, it's fine. You have no rules on Raw. As opposed to other people who have rules, like the Shield, they can't just go attacking people with axe handles like they did on Raw this week, attacking a whole bunch of guys, making them all look like jabronis, right? It was like 10-on-3, right. And the 3 won for some reason. But, Baron Corbin told them, hey, if you do that again, we're going to have you arrested. Kevin Owens, he can do whatever he wants. That's his deal.
Explain to me why Kevin, had issues with Braun Strowman, but is just another one of his cronies after the fact. There's, again, holes in their story here. It doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense.
It hurts Kevin. And the fact, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it has not been announced, Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley for Hell in a Cell.
Is that happening at Hell in a Cell?
I'm guessing it's not.
It wasn't announced. Maybe they're going to push it to their next show?
Well, the next show is the Super Showdown. They've already announced a tag match between the two of them, so...
Right.
The time for the singles match is now, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Maybe it'll be announced late on the pre-show, but doesn't look like it. And it's too bad for Kevin. I know they kind of tried to explain what the hell happened, but to me it just seemed like we don't really know what we're doing with him, so now we're going to try to go in this direction with him.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like they're clear on where they're going, but I do feel like they're building him up again to fall to Roman. I think when Roman has done the Braun Strowman thing, I think Kevin Owens is going to beat Bobby Lashley in this feud and then be built up to face Roman, and then he'll lose to Roman. He'll be the next guy for Roman to conquer over the next couple of shows.
Well, it's interesting with Bobby because, I figured Paul Heyman, his talk piece, but now he's got Leo Rush now as his motivational guy instead. I don't know if you caught that on Raw.
That was a very brief little segment backstage. Lashley is working out and Leo Rush is talking him up, which seems to be a new thing that the WWE is doing, right? They're using cruiserweights as managers. They had what's-his-face, Drake Maverick, as the manager of the new Authors of Pain tag team there. And then you have Leo Rush all of a sudden as Bobby Lashley's manager, I guess.
I like coach.
Is that going to stick?
I guess so. Again, Paul Heyman, I thought that would make a lot of sense, but I think they're really high on Leo Rush. They always give him a microphone every time he comes out for 205. So I guess he's going to be the talking piece for Bobby. And, Bobby's not the greatest on the mic, unfortunately, so it makes sense.
This Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is the last pay-per-view before Survivor Series.
Well, you're not counting the Super Showdown.
I'm not counting the Super Showdown in October, but that thing's kind of it's like a standalone deal, right? The Super Showdown is very different than Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is the storylines are kind of building towards things, and the Super Showdown is kind of it's like a glorified house show. You're bringing in Triple H to wrestle The Undertaker. You're having a lot of matches from Hell in a Cell just kind of rematched here, right? Charlotte and Becky are booked to wrestle tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell. They're booked to wrestle in October in Australia at that Super Showdown. Daniel Bryan and The Miz are booked to wrestle at that Super Showdown. They're in a mixed tag at Hell in a Cell. Kevin Owens is teaming with Elias to face Bobby Lashley and John Cena at that Super Showdown. You know, it's kind of like a continuation a little bit of Hell in a Cell, but a standalone event on its own. And the next big event that the WWE is doing, other than that Women's Evolution pay-per-view, but none of the male superstars will be on that show. So that show will kind of be like a standalone event on its own as well, right? Like it's its own weird kind of one-night spot show, if you will.
But they're hyping it like crazy, though.
Yeah, but they're having a lot of wrestlers that don't wrestle full-time for the company on that show. So the storylines don't carry over. Like, Undertaker and Triple H is the match at the Super Showdown. Undertaker and Triple H have nothing to do with anybody else on Raw. They're not going to challenge for the title. They don't mean anything long-term. After Super Showdown, they both go away, and that's the way it's built, right?
Right.
Whereas the Women's Evolution, kind of the same deal. You know, Trish Stratus is being built to wrestle somebody on that show,
Alexa
right?
Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. Like, after Women's Evolution, Trish Stratus is not going to be there. Lita is supposed to wrestle Mickie James. Lita's not going to wrestle full-time afterwards, so that show is kind of a standalone show. So we're sitting here September 16th, and it's going to be the last real WWE pay-per-view until November. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, to quote the great DDP.
Yeah, it's fantastic, actually. I actually love it when we have this long wait between pay-per-views because that means you get long builds for storylines. Hopefully WWE can remember how to do that.
I could see Kevin Owens being the one to face Roman Reigns by November. Like, I could see it happening by then.
Well, then he's going to have to win at the Super Showdown.
Yeah, maybe. I think he might wind up wrestling Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell somehow. They might just throw that in there. It would make sense.
Well, I look at this card, and like besides Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, I'm not looking forward to much. I know you're big into the mixed tag match.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Prophet, the former co-host here, apparently is very excited for this match too. I don't understand it, but he believes in this whole like Brie versus Maryse feud. Like, he actually believes like this is a big thing and he wants to see them wrestle. I don't know why.
I love it. I love it. We're going to get to Daniel Bryan and The Miz and Brie and Maryse and all that stuff and a lot more. We got a lot more Hell in a Cell to get to. We got to take a short pause here, right here on TSN 690.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Valentino Morella, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Trish Stratus, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored. Keep listening. Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. We're here on TSN 690 every Saturday night talking professional wrestling. Be sure to check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. I will be live right after Hell in a Cell on YouTube. Every WWE pay-per-view, we go on live right after on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport. DOTNET. Dave and Johnny live. Johnny North and I every Friday afternoon do a live show on YouTube. You can go check out the latest episode of Dave and Johnny Live. Johnny North wrestled last weekend at a fair, and he told us all about his tournament that he was in. So check out our YouTube channel. More info is at WrestlingUncensored.net, our official website. You can go check out everything Wrestling Uncensored, What's Phantom in Japan, and of course Ringside Report Radio at WrestlingUncensored.net. WWE Hell in a Cell going down tomorrow night. We both expect Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, to retain that Universal Championship. Will AJ Styles retain the WWE title here against Samoa Joe?
I don't know if AJ is going to win, but I think it's going to go down the same road kind of like SummerSlam. I think maybe a DQ, maybe double count-out kind of thing. I think that's where we're going down because they're trying to make this like it's real personal. So I feel, again, we won't have a clean finish.
They are supposed to rematch in October on the 6th of October at the Super Showdown.
It's not impossible we get a title change. I just feel that now is not the time.
You think we get another like DQ finish? Isn't that what we got at SummerSlam?
We did get a DQ. This is why I think it's going to be a count out. Hey, Nakamura and AJ did the same thing, right? They dragged that on for 4 pay-per-views.
Yeah. I would prefer a conclusive finish here in this match, considering it wasn't a conclusive finish last time around. I could see them pulling some sort of weirdo finish, but I don't know.
Well, we had a DQ finish. Now you're just going to have another singles match. There's no repercussions for that DQ. I feel like there's going to be DQ, and then he's going to say, like, hey, what the heck? Like, there should be something to happen to that. And we're going to get a stipulation match, I think, for Super Showdown.
Hopefully. I think this match will be fantastic, no matter what happens. I think AJ Styles retains the title. He may win the match outright. It may be a count-out. It may be a disqualification, whatever. I think AJ walks out of Hell in a Cell, still WWE Champion. This match could be match of the night, though. Even though we both expect maybe a weird finish, it could steal the show because it's AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. They're two of the best to ever do it.
It's definitely not something I'm not looking forward to. This is one of the better matches on the show. It's just I do wonder in terms of where they're going with the story here. It feels like they want to make it a bit darker, so I wonder if they're going to focus more on story than actual wrestling.
The promos this week were interesting. AJ's promo that he did in the empty arena I thought was really good on SmackDown. I liked the point where he made that he said, Samoa Joe has a family, but I'm not talking about them because I'm above that. I'm not going to go and talk about Joe's family like he's doing to me. I thought that was a good point for AJ to really solidify him as the babyface, and it brought some reality to this. It's like, man, Joe's just a jerk, and AJ is not. AJ's a good guy.
I also feel like, I'm not going to go down that route for now. That's what it seems like.
I don't know. And also, it did lead me to question, like, okay, if they're going to acknowledge that Samoa Joe is like a guy with a wife and kids, when Samoa Joe is telling AJ's wife, like, I'm your new daddy now, telling his kids he's the new daddy and daddy's coming home, what does Joe's wife think of that? Like, if I was telling another man's wife that I was going to go to their house and become their new father, like, what would my family think about that? I don't think they'd be too happy. Like, it's kind of weird, right?
I feel like they could go down that route with this.
Where Joe's wife is the one to stop Joe from doing all this stuff. She's sick of his attitude.
See, this is where
or is Joe such a heel that he doesn't care?
This is where I worry. We're going to focus more on the story or the wrestling, because the wrestling is very good. I mean, if they can get a great mix of this, it'd be fantastic. Can they pull it off is the question.
We'll see. I think the match should be very good. If that's not match of the night, I think Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton winds up being match of the night, right? Inside the Hell in a Cell. Jeff Hardy's first time in Hell in a Cell. He's already talking like he's going to do something crazy.
I'm fearful Jeff might be seriously injured. I fear for his life. This is going to be nuts.
I do too. I fear that Jeff Hardy doesn't know when it's too much. He doesn't know when to stop, and it might be the end. Like you said, Jeff Hardy may be going away, maybe taking some time off or leaving the WWE. Matt seems to be gone. If this is Jeff's last match and it's his first Hell in a Cell, that's a recipe for disaster right there. Nobody is a bigger daredevil in the WWE than Jeff Hardy. He's going to do something crazy. Should be fun to watch.
As a fan, this is a huge dream come true in a sense. But if you're a member of Jeff Hardy's family, you got to be in tears almost for this.
I'd be very concerned if I were his family. I would be concerned, and I would say, please, Jeff, take care of yourself. Please don't do anything too crazy.
I really wish JR was commentating this match.
By God, Jeff Hardy, good God Almighty, he's broken in half.
They killed him.
They killed him. They killed the little bastard.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, it would be great. So Randy Orton wins this match due to Jeff Hardy destroying himself?
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
expecting a swanton off the top. I just worry, man, knowing Jeff, is he actually going to hit the table? I worry about Jeff Hardy so much right here.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm expecting something crazy. I'm actually excited about a Randy Orton match. If Randy wins, does he go on and feud with Nakamura after this?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I see him maybe go towards AJ Styles if AJ's still the champion. That's tough.
But Joe and AJ are still going to be going, right? And there's nobody to feud with Nakamura. Too bad Nakamura is a heel. Because Randy's a heel, and so is Andrade Cien Almas. And both of those guys would be great opponents for Nakamura, but it just doesn't make sense because they're all heels. You see Andrade Cien Almas this week wrestling R-Truth on SmackDown? SmackDown is so devoid of baby faces. R-Truth is working on a weekly basis against the top talent on the brand. I'm not saying anything bad about R-Truth, but man, it's R-Truth. He's been around forever. They barely use him. He jobs out most of the time. He's not a credible top-level superstar, yet all of a sudden, Carmella's his manager. She's turned babyface overnight. She's not a wrestler anymore. She just comes to the ring to support R-Truth.
Gives her screen time. That's why I think.
Sure. So are we about to embark on the R-Truth and Carmella versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega feud? Is that what's happening? Strange times in WWE. Especially on SmackDown. They do not have enough baby faces. That seems to be a problem. And if Jeff Hardy leaves, there's another babyface gone. Who are their babyfaces right now? Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. That's it. Everybody else is a heel.
You really have to use the New Day more in singles rules, I guess.
Oh, there's an idea. Finally. How about the New Day loses the tag titles and then they challenge Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship? Why not as a test run from the thing that I've been saying they should be doing for years now, is putting the WWE Championship on the New Day. Test it out. Give them the U.S. title. Let's go already.
Well, really, this is just a feud to give something for Nakamura. It's not really to give the New Day another championship.
I think they should have a singles title. I think Big E or Woods or Kofi should win the U.S. title in a one-on-one match with Nakamura. And then if one of them's the U.S. champion, they're all the U.S. champion. And then you never know who you're going to face when you challenge for the U.S. title. Is it going to be Big E? Is it going to be Woods? Is it going to be Kofi? Who's it going to be?
I just feel that they want to have Daniel Bryan versus Nakamura at one point. And when I look at guys that are going to beat Nakamura, Daniel Bryan seems to be the guy that would be the one.
Who wants to see Daniel Bryan wrestle for the U.S. title?
He's not going to wrestle for the WWE Championship.
Why not?
I firmly believe, because it's him against The Miz, Super Showdown, number one contenders match. The Miz is winning that one. He's going to take Hell in the Cell, right? Him and Brie. And Miz is going to win him back Super Showdown.
Probably.
So then Daniel Bryan would go for the U.S. title.
Don't tell me The Miz is going to beat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Don't
Would
tell
not
me
be
that's...
surprised. Would not be surprised whatsoever.
And then what? You do Bryan Miz again at WrestleMania for the title?
What's wrong with that?
It's not AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the title. That's the match they should be building towards. That's obvious.
Well, time will tell, right?
Bryan and Miz should be over with by Super Showdown, with Bryan on top and Miz just going away. Miz. You kidding me? I'm excited about this match, though. Bryan and Brie versus Miz and Maryse. I don't know if I'm excited for anything more.
The main event on SmackDown was god-awful.
Miz, or rather Maryse versus Brie, nothing really happened in that match. It was barely a match. I think the most impactful part of that was when Miz pulled Brie Bella out of the ring and she bumped on the floor. Like, that was crazy.
Oh, and Daniel landed on Brie as well.
Yeah, when Bryan and Miz, they're brawling in the ring, and then Miz kind of throws Bryan into the ropes, and Bryan falls out of the ring and lands on Brie. Yeah, and then Miz attacked Bryan as he was attending to Brie, and then Maryse attacked Brie, but then Bryan and Brie fought back, and they wound up standing tall at the end of SmackDown. Does that mean they're going to lose here in the mixed tag match?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I just can't see Miz winning this one as well. It's overkill if Miz wins this one.
He won at SummerSlam. He cheated to win. You think he's going to beat him at Super Showdown when they wrestle again one-on-one. So this is the one that Bryan and Brie get to win.
Unless they just lose the whole way through, I guess. But I'm hoping they can at least win one match.
I was shocked when Brie Bella versus Maryse was announced as the main event for SmackDown this week. I was like, how is this match even going to happen? Considering Brie's performance a couple weeks ago on Raw and Maryse having a child 5 months ago, how is this happening? And we saw it wasn't really a match. Brie got on the mic during the match. Miz got on the mic. It was kind of a mess.
I just didn't like how they hyped the fact that it's been like 8 years or something since Maryse had wrestled. Like, it's better that way that she hasn't wrestled a singles match. You don't want to watch those matches.
Yeah, Miz was talking about how she was one of the longest reigning Divas champions. It wasn't a great era for women's wrestling, and she was not a great wrestler. She wasn't.
It was bad times.
She's no Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch. I think Bryan and Brie are going to win that match. I think Charlotte and Becky is real interesting. That one is a toss-up as far as I'm concerned. I could see Becky winning this one. I kind of want to see Becky win. I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch.
Yeah, this one definitely, in terms of who wins or loses, it's the most interesting because they're supposed to wrestle, I think, not only Super Showdown, but Evolution. This is the start of 3 pay-per-views in a row pretty much for them. So this really could go either way. I just hope we don't get one of those non-finishes because I feel like we could get that as well, which would suck.
They just brawl or a DQ or something. Another non-finish here, John? You're predicting both SmackDown title matches to end with no clear winner.
No, actually in this one, I think Becky's going to win the title.
You think Becky wins?
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm not sure about it, though. I think Charlotte winds up retaining here.
As long as we get a finish, because, yeah, there's too many, like screwy finishes.
So how about Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss? I think Ronda retains and just destroys Alexa, right? Like, not even a chance.
Of you to say. The fact that Alexa got any offense in whatsoever in that tag match this week, I was very surprised. But that's it. Like the fact that they're selling that Ronda has an injury or something, I don't believe that whatsoever.
Yeah, Alexa kicked Ronda at one point, and then Ronda was saying, "Oh, my ribs hurt."
Yeah, like they tackled her leg and her ribs hurt. What?
I don't know. That was not a great match on Raw. Ronda and Natalya beating Alexa and Mickie James, but hey, at least we see Ronda Rousey again wrestling on Monday Night Raw. This is becoming a regular occurrence. Something you were very skeptical about. You didn't think it was going to happen, and look at her. She's wrestling all the time on Raw now.
Not all the time. Maybe every second or third week or whatever she's wrestling.
She wrestles about as much as Natalya does.
It's all right. It's not bad. Not defending the title, by the way. Title was not on the line. She did win, though, because we wondered if this would be her first loss. We thought Natty might lose the match. I appreciate the effort on the heart attack. I didn't think it was executed very well. I think Ronda almost broke her leg hitting that move because she landed like with her leg tucked in when she hit the move, which is very dangerous. And they got to tell Ronda not to do that ever again. On your ass, that's it. Besides that, it was good.
I didn't like that it was the Hart Foundation's finishing move, but they just used it as a spot. It wasn't the finish.
I understand that, it's just to do it for the sake of showing it, It's just the velocity, too. They needed some work on that.
What was a better match? Ronda and Natty versus Alexa and Mickie, or the other women's match on Raw, Nikki Bella versus Ruby Riott? Nikki Bella winds up beating Ruby Riott. I was a little surprised to see Nikki wrestle one-on-one here. First match on Raw.
I didn't feel Nikki's performance was bad. I just wasn't blown away by anything that she did.
I thought she looked all right, though.
It was all right. I thought Mickie James had probably the best performance because I thought she really carried that tag match a lot.
Yeah, Mickie James is very good.
So that's why. And again, Ronda, like, she is an attraction. The fact that, you know, she's wrestling on Raw, that's a big deal. Nikki Bella, not so much. And unfortunately, it seems the rumors are true. That
I disagree with you. I think Nikki Bella is an attraction. She's got a lot of fans. You always downplay how important the Bella twins are. They're very important. Total Bellas is very big. Total Divas is very big. The fact that the Bellas were able to have a spin-off reality show on E, not the USA Network. We're talking about E Television, and they have several seasons now of their own show. It just shows the power of the Bellas brand. They are big, and whether you want to admit it or not, they have a lot of fans.
Well, I hate to admit it because it seems that we're going to get that Nikki Bella Ronda Rousey match at the Evolution pay-per-view, and I'm not looking forward to that whatsoever. Ronda's a legit fighter. Nikki is not, so it's hard to believe in that kind of match.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe in Ronda versus anybody at this point, right? Like, who is a real challenge for Ronda Rousey? I think the most credible threat was the one they threw at her right away, which was Nia Jax, because at least Nia Jax has the size advantage. She's so much bigger than Ronda. It's the one thing that no one else really has over Ronda. No one else is bigger than Ronda Rousey, at least not to the extent that Nia is. And that's something that Ronda never had to deal with in the UFC, where there are weight divisions. So I think the Nia Jax match maybe happened too soon. It was a great match, but I don't see anybody really as a threat to Ronda. They're all the same size, if not smaller. Like Alexa Bliss, like, you know, she doesn't have the background to contend with her in a real fight, and she's also so much smaller that it's not even fair.
I think at this point, you just have to throw like multiple women at her now. It needs to be handicap matches for you to actually believe Ronda could lose.
Unless you build up certain women's wrestlers. Like, I think Charlotte Flair right now against Ronda Rousey is a very credible match.
Wrong brand, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's on SmackDown, but down the road, WrestleMania type thing, that's a big match. Asuka, I think, at one point would have been a really fun opponent for Ronda. Again, wrong brand, but I think Asuka could be built in a way that she could be a challenge to Ronda Rousey.
All matches that I'd rather see than Nikki Bella.
Kairi Sane against Ronda Rousey would be awesome. Shayna Baszler against Ronda Rousey, right? There are matches out there for Ronda to have where, I mean, you don't think that the women have a chance at beating her in a real fight, but in a wrestling match, you're like, this could go either way, and this could be a pretty competitive match.
The fact that the Nikki Bella match is going to be competitive is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know how that match is going to be booked, but it's a little bit odd that they're doing Ronda Nikki. I think blockbuster-wise, like name-wise, it makes a lot of sense, but in the ring, at that Women's Evolution pay-per-view, which is not official, right? Like, that match is not officially made.
It was a rumored leak card that came out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, because it seems a little weird. I think Ronda versus Stephanie McMahon makes a lot more sense.
That's the match that needs to happen.
I find it hard to believe that they're going to have the first ever women's pay-per-view in the WWE and Stephanie isn't going to wrestle on it.
Well, here's the issue. Who's the commentators?
I don't know, Renee and somebody else?
I would think Stephanie, no?
Dasha?
Okay, but I think Stephanie as well.
Charlie?
Someone's got to be like a backstage announcer too, right? So I think Stephanie's going to definitely do color.
I don't know about that.
If not,
she did it for the Women's Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, if not all the show, definitely for Ronda's match, she'll do color commentary.
I don't know. She's kind of like a character in that match. It doesn't really make sense.
We haven't seen Stephanie since that incident with Ronda, so will she be involved again?
Speaking of Stephanie McMahon, her husband was on Raw this week.
Oh.
Yes, I was, Johnny North. Why are you making that sound? You didn't like my promo? What's the matter? You don't like hearing me talk about The Undertaker? I showed a poll on Raw this week, and it said 81% of people think Undertaker's gonna win at Super Showdown. You know what that means? That means 19% of people think I'm gonna win, and those people are right, 'cause I'm the gamer, the cerebral assassin, and I'm going to cerebrally assassinate you.
I think Sean said that. Sean said he's going to assassinate you.
Cerebrally, that's what I do.
But didn't Triple H also say, like, oh, polls don't matter? Like, you don't think about stuff like that?
Polls don't matter, 'cause Undertaker is broke down. All he has left is his reputation, and I'm gonna put him down.
The one part I did like is that Triple H said that he and Shawn took pretty much what was left out of The Undertaker, and The Undertaker wasn't the same again.
That's right. We DX'd him back to hell.
The CM Punk thing was pretty good, but I'm sure Triple H doesn't want to acknowledge that whatsoever.
What happened with CM Punk?
He wrestled, I believe, the match after Triple H.
At WrestleMania?
After Hell in a Cell, I think it was CM Punk after.
Oh, so you're saying that Triple H was saying that him and Shawn wrestling Taker and those Manias had taken years off Taker's career, and they had hurt Undertaker, and then they kind of forgot about CM Punk wrestling Undertaker in between, and then when Brock Lesnar beat him, it wasn't really because of Brock Lesnar or what CM Punk had done or what Undertaker had been through in other matches. It was all about those WrestleMania matches with Shawn and Hunter. That was the reason why Taker lost to Brock at WrestleMania. Right?
That's what I took from that, yeah.
And that's right. That's why he lost. It wasn't because of Brock or that stupid Punk. It was because of me and Shawn. Do you really think CM Punk's skinny fat ass could do any damage? No way. End of an era.
The way he told the story, like, it does make you believe Triple H could win this one. I don't think he will, but he told a very convincing story.
That's right, because I cut the best promo in the business. That's why I'm on the show every week.
And Taker's on next week.
Yeah, what's he going to say? Triple H, I'm going to get you. You arrest.
Well, there's the rumor that Shawn's going to be the ref. I don't know why Shawn needs to be the ref.
Why would Shawn be the ref now? What's with all these special refs all of a sudden? Doesn't make sense for Shawn to be the ref. He was already the ref in Hell in a Cell, and he was not impartial.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, didn't him and Triple H try to take out Undertaker together?
He tried.
Yeah, they both attacked Undertaker. He was not an impartial ref. Why would he be allowed to ref this one? It's ridiculous. That better not happen. But Shawn said he's going to be there in Australia. And I could see Shawn helping Triple H win. And then setting up the Saudi Arabia show in November where it's Shawn and Triple H versus Taker and Kane or Taker and Cena, Taker and Cena would make sense, too.
Yeah, it would.
If Kane's too busy being a mayor, John Cena could team up with The Undertaker and say, look, I'll help you here, but you got to give me that rematch at WrestleMania, buddy.
I could see that going down. But, again, Shawn's... A lot of people responded to that, by the way. Like, Shawn's next match, people said on Twitter, responded to you, saying that Shawn's next return match isn't going to be a tag match.
They think he'd wrestle one-on-one.
Exactly.
They're mistaken.
You guys are all mistaken, Wrestling Uncensored Universe.
Well, those that think Shawn's next match or his comeback match would be a one-on-one match, I don't think that's so, and I don't think that is wise. I don't think Shawn is really in ring shape to carry a one-on-one match, and bringing him back in a tag team scenario is far more prudent, where he can, take little breaks on the apron and let Triple H do some of the work. I think it makes a lot more sense to have these old-timers in tag matches where they don't have to carry the brunt of the load.
I get that. It's just the setting is the problem. In Saudi Arabia, house show, that's going to be his return match.
It's going to be a network special, isn't it?
Even if it is, that's not WrestleMania, and that's where it's got to be.
Oh, this is bigger than WrestleMania. This is bigger. If Saudi Arabia had the greatest Royal Rumble, why not give them the greatest WrestleMania? You think WrestleMania is good? No. You haven't seen the greatest WrestleMania where we got rows of couches with all sorts of sheiks sitting on them. And not the Iron Sheik, real sheiks.
We're still jumping ahead here. Hell in a Cell this Sunday. The Shield, do you think they're going to win tag team titles?
Who cares?
You don't care? I actually think it's going to be a good match, actually.
I don't give a damn. I don't think it's going to be a good match. If I have to see Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, or Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler in the ring with each other one more time, I'm going to lose it. I don't want to watch this match at all. I have no interest in seeing Seth versus Dolph or Dean versus Dolph. I once saw a match that was Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler at a SmackDown taping in Ottawa. That was maybe the worst match I've ever seen in my entire life. It was horrible.
I actually believe you said on Raw you saw Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton.
Oh, that was really bad too. No, but the match that I saw at SmackDown versus Ziggler was worse.
Wow.
It was so bad, SmackDown was taped back then, that they cut it. It wasn't as long as it was in person.
Oh, okay.
They did two. Dean Ambrose came off, I think, the second rope twice and did a stomp on Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
Not even a off the rope stomp. Off the second rope, land, stomp. Twice in the match. It's horrible. I think they were, I don't know, maybe it was a joke. Maybe they were laughing about it. How bad of a match can we have? I don't know, but it was very bad. I do not like watching those two guys wrestle each other. And Dean or Seth even and Dolph, I'm not really a fan of. I know people like those matches, but I do not.
Well, I think this is going to open the show, and it's a great way to get the Shield off to a great start where they're going to win the tag team titles, I think.
So the Shield will have the Universal title with Roman Reigns, the Intercontinental title with Seth Rollins, and the tag team titles with Seth and Dean.
They control Raw, yeah.
Great. I can see that happening. I don't think it's going to, though. I think Dolph and Drew hold on to the tag titles here. I don't think Braun takes the Universal title, but I think Dolph and Drew retain.
Okay, so they don't control everything yet.
It's too much, man. Because then, either the tag team titles or the Intercontinental title gets defended on a show, but never both.
I could see Seth Rollins defending both championships on the same show.
Seth Rollins needs to drop the Intercontinental title to Jinder Mahal. Give Jinder Mahal a reason. Or Elias, or Kevin Owens, or Baron Corbin. Any number of the heels that are kind of lower mid-card on Raw right now, they should take the Intercontinental title away from Seth Rollins, because it's doing nothing with him. It's a waste.
I feel like he's beating them all except Jinder. So Jinder would make a lot of sense.
Give it to Jinder. Don't hinder Jinder. Why not? Johnny North, when is your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
It's actually going to be this Sunday before Hell in a Cell at 4325 Industrial Boulevard, and a tag team match at 2 p.m. Drew Onyx's Torture Chamber show. Tickets are $8, I believe.
Nice. For more on that, follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. Very easy for you.
Simple.
WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. I will be live after Hell in a Cell on our YouTube channel with you, recapping the entire night's events from World Wrestling Entertainment. I want to thank Jimmy and Marco for helping us out at the TSN 690 studios. And a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.